Good Friday morning, everybody. So this right here is today's project, and I'll mow this down. I got this little field here, and if you can see right behind that tree line, there's another field right back there. They got a mow. Access is right over there. So gonna get this mowed down. Came over here and looked at this earlier in the week, and was thinking about doing this with the Kubota, but I mean, this is just some really thick grass in here, and it's wet today. It rained all night last night, and it's been raining. It's raining a little bit this morning, so all this is wet, and just didn't really think the Kubota could muscle its way through some of this thick grass. So got the skid steer, so this will be a lot quicker, and I get to sit in the cab with the air conditioning, which is nice. So we're gonna go ahead and get this started. And shouldn't take too long, regardless that this is wet. I mean, this thing right here is just gonna shred this stuff, so no problem. And we'll get it knocked out and try to get some good footage today. Backfield back here, it's significantly a lot higher ground as well. That front field was low ground in there. There was like 2 holes I almost got stuck in. One thing about the lugs on this 329 is they don't ride great, but man, do they get some traction. They're really good about getting traction in wet, soft ground. So I hate them. I hate to ride, but man, these things are good, you know, to get you out of a hole, get you through some tough ground. A little bit of a limb here we'll have to grind up. My skid steer's got a little bit of a leak over here on the overhead little sunroof. Kind of getting tripped on a little bit with this rain. It is pouring down rain, but hopefully it's about to stop here. Right here in the corners, I'm just kind of backing up and softening the corners a little bit so that they're not so right angled, and then you don't have to turn as hard with this. Oh, there's some water. There's a lot of water in here in some areas. It's rained the last couple of days, but we had to get this done, so no worries. This thing cuts whether it's wet, dry, it don't matter. This thing will cut it down. Just kind of soften your corners a little bit with this thing. You don't have to turn so hard and mess the ground up too bad. There's a little bit of a low area right here at this back side, but the rest of this thing is pretty dry. It's a lot thinner. The front side was so thin, I was actually bogging this thing down a little bit in some areas. So that's not raining for the most part. We're making pretty good progress. I'm trying to get some more footage with the MTL when I've been using it. this thing weighs so much and it sticks out so far, there's so much leverage. When you go over a hill and you come back down the other side, sometimes, I mean, you rock forward pretty good. We're just going right, this stuff's wet, we're just going right through it, no problem. It's just sucking it in, mulching it down. Bothers you, I apologize. I haven't disabled that thing on this thing. I know some guys do. I personally like it. I like to have it. I like people to know that I'm backing up. I like to know when this thing is backing up, you know. So, if that annoys the crap out of you, I apologize. I've got this thing in low gear. I'm not cutting this in high gear, but I've got it in so job's done, and looks pretty good in here. There's a whole chest right there. Wonder if they're gonna have me come back and get that up. I can't get it by myself. I don't even know if I have room in the pickup truck for it, but all in all, this turned out pretty good. I was really rushing there at the end. I was running out of fuel and didn't want to have to leave to go get more fuel, but got it done and got it finished up. It was really bogging down out here in the middle. That stuff, that reed grass and all that stuff, just being wet and just ungodly thick, just so thick. I would have never gotten this done with the Kubota. So and even with an 85 horsepower machine at 28 gallons a minute on that cutter, I mean it still was pretty bad. So right over in there, I actually started high cutting it. I would high cut it going this way and then drop the blade down and then back drag it and cut it, finish cut it on the back drag, and that seemed to help a little bit, but man, it was thick in here. I was not prepared for how thick it was in here. It was very wet. Back in that corner right there was like it's a bad hole. I almost thought I was gonna get stuck in there, and I couldn't even get right back in there because that's a ditch in there. That whole tree line's a ditch too, so it curves around back that way and then back in that hole. So and then that other field, the first part of this video was that field that's right back there. So that one wasn't too bad. That was all high ground in there for the most part, other than that one back corner where it had some water in the very back corner. But all in all, this turned out pretty well. I'm happy with it, and took me, let's see, 9. What time is it now? It's 4:30. I didn't even really stop to eat lunch other than to go get fuel and a protein bar, so it's 7 hours. I don't even know how many acres this is. It's probably close to 4 or 5 acres all told, something like that. I'm gonna guess this is 2 acres here ish in the front, and then that's probably 3 in the back, so 5 acres. Skid steer is a god-awful mess. She's muddy and bloody, and it's gonna take me a whole day to clean this son of a gun out, and all the mud in there and all that. I should have cleaned the tracks out before I loaded it up, but I gotta go help my parents clean some buildings on Tuesdays and Fridays with my parents, so I gotta run, and that's gonna be a nice 30-minute drive, and I'm supposed to be there at about 4:45, and I got a 30 to 45 minute drive there, so I'm gonna be late. So I will have to deal with that tomorrow or Sunday. So I'm gonna back this thing up really quick and try to get my gloves and clean off some of this grass before I go down the road so it doesn't fly off, and I'm out of here. It's Friday. Hope you guys are having a good Friday. I am out. I'll see you later.